Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Welcome to today's session. Today we're going to be doing a brief introduction to AutoCAD 3D. AutoCAD 3D. You can see me, please use the chat box. You can see my screen. Please use the chat box. And if you can hear me loud and clear, please type loud and clear. Okay, John Paul, you're asking a question about your AutoCAD Crosshair doesn't extend across all through the screen. Coverage loud and clear, John Paul loud and clear. Cheesy, are you with me? You should also type loud and clear if you're with me. For John Paul, let me solve that problem quickly before I go. So you have to go to your options and just right click anywhere on the screen, go to options, or type option using your command line, and then it will pop up a dialog menu for you to do your settings. It's usually take some time if you're doing it for the first time. So you can see mine like so. So now you need to go to where you can edit your crosshair. Let's see the display. Yeah, you see the crosshair size. You see currently it's 100%. If I reduce it to, let's say, 38 or thereabouts, and I click OK, you see the outcome. You see it this way. So if you can see this, and if I just solve the problem, you can type solved using the chat box. John Paul, yes, you asked the question. So if I just solve the problem, you can type solved. So I'm going to set it back to 100, and that's how I like to use it. John Paul. Wow. Okay, having said that, let's get straight up to today's session. Today we'll be doing introduction to 3D with AutoCAD. So let's get started. Once you launch AutoCAD, you all know this screen. We've been using this 2D workspace for a while. So to switch to the AutoCAD 3D workspace, there are several ways you can do that. Up here, the top right corner, you see something like drafting and annotation. That is talking about our current workspace. Yes, this is the workspace. So now, this is a workspace switcher, by the way. So you can switch from AutoCAD drafting and annotation to other workspaces. Like we have 3D basics, we have 3D modeling. You can, before now, there used to be AutoCAD classic, but they don't have it anymore. I think because they've noticed that people don't really use them. So you can save, you can create a new workspace, and you can customize your workspace, and you can save that workspace. So we will just go quickly to AutoCAD 3D basics to just do a little overview. So now, once you click on AutoCAD 3D basics, this is a screen that greets you. So it's not really greeting you actually. This is a screen that you meet. Okay, so you see some little, some basic 3D tools. Like we have some tools to create some AutoCAD primitives, like you've seen. So you can create a box, you can create a cylinder, a cone, a sphere, a pyramid, and some editing tools to create custom shapes, like so. And you can see some draw tools, some 2D draw tools. Like you can see, so you see a line, polygon, and all that. Some modified tools also. You've got some modified tools like so, and yeah, and some other tools that we'll be talking about in a jiffy. So let's just switch from AutoCAD 3D Basic to another one. Now, you notice before now I used the upper left corner to switch, the workspace at the upper left corner to switch. If you cannot find this here, and you can see this drop-down button, you can click on it. Now, this button can activate some of these things that you see here in your Q80, Quick Access Toolbar. So you can see we have the new. This new is talking about the create a new file, open existing document, and all that. So anyone you check here will be displayed here. So now, if you cannot see, that means that the workspace switcher was turned off, like I just did. I just turned mine off. So you can actually go here, drop it down, and switch it on. Once you switch it on, you see it right there. And if you cannot see it right there, there's also another workspace switcher here, down the lower right corner, rather, the lower right corner. So if you click on this drop-down arrow, you see also the same things to access the different workspaces. Now, if you cannot see this here, you also go over to the right a little and choose the customization button. Then you see a lot of things you can activate. So if you cannot see, then you go search for Workspace Switcher. So we have the Workspace Switcher right here. So you can click on it to activate and deactivate it. So that is it for the Workspace Switcher. Now let's switch over to 3D modeling. 3D Basics only gives you basic tools to work with AutoCAD 3D. So now we're going to switch from 3D Basics to 3D modeling to get some more advanced tools. Okay, so this is AutoCAD 3D modeling workspace. As you can see, it has a lot of tools right here to work with. It has a lot of tools to work with. Of course, this is your workspace. This is your drawing area where you do your basic modeling and stuff. I'm just going to turn off the grid mode. So the grid display is turned off. So you see, we have the workspace. We have this is we're going to be using this ViewCube. We're going to be working with the ViewCube. Yes, I know most of you must have been waiting for this. Now with this, you can actually work with, this is how you navigate your 3D. With this ViewCube, you can see we have the west, the east, we have the south and the north. So you can navigate with this. Now we have a nav bar that we can also use, but not really, because if you're using a 3-button mouse, I don't think your nav bar will really be that useful, because most of the tools you have here, you can do that with your 3-button mouse. Like we have the pan. Let me draw something. Let me just draw something for illustration purpose. I'll draw this like so, and then the height, I'll make it like so. So now, if I switch, this is a box, but you can't know if it's a box viewing it from the top, like we have so. This is the top view. Yes, you can't tell if it's a box viewing it from the top. So you need to switch. You need to switch or navigate with this ViewCube to actually see the 3 dimensions of this box. And how do you do that? You can either just click any of these vertices. So we have different vertices at the cube. So we have one here, we have one here, and so on, so on, so. So I'm going to switch to this particular vertex here. So now we see it's a box. So if you can see my screen, if you can see this, and if you can hear me, please type in, use the chat box. Okay, Gideon can see me. Fafre, okay, yeah. Cheesy, yes, Cheesy can see me, of course. Okay, thank you very much. Let's continue. Now, you see this tool right here, the panning tool. I think we used it while doing 2D, but we did not know why we were using it. Because of course, if you're using a 3-button mouse, you must have used it severally. So with this, you can pan your screen. Just left click, and you can pan your screen like so. Alternatively, if you don't want to go through the stress of selecting the pan tool before panning your screen by left clicking, you can just use your middle mouse wheel. Yes, the wheel you use in zooming in and out, like so. Just press it down and you can pan. So let's say we don't have this. Yes, pressing down your mouse wheel, the middle mouse button, can pan easily. Yes, and I use it all the time. Quote me anywhere, I use it all the time. Yes, I use this particular tool all the time using my 3-button mouse. As a modeler, as someone that is into CAD, it is always advisable to get a 3-button mouse. Yes, not using the mouse pad on your laptop computer if you're using a laptop. It's always advisable to get a 3-button mouse. Yeah, so you would want to look into that. Get a 3-button mouse. It's always advisable Yeah, some people go as far as getting some other sketch pad, but that's not what we are. I'll advise you to do for now, until maybe you have need for it. So for a start, you should get a 3-button mouse, and then so you can easily navigate your workspace. Okay, now that having said that, you know that this can give you both the front view, the side views, like so. This is the right view, and this is the back view. Then the left. Then you can click on the vertices to go to that particular direction, like we have, like so. So I can click here to view it sideways, and now you can click home to go to your default view, which is my southwest isometric view. Yes, this is the southwest isometric view, as you can see. Southwest isometric view, we have it like so. So now, you know this home button will always take you to your southwest isometric view, or you can actually create a view and make it your home. Now, the next one on this navigation bar is zoom to extent. Of course, we all know what zoom to extent is. Once you click on zoom to extent, make the objects in your drawing area occupy the whole of your screen. Yes, or it zooms into the extent of your drawing. And I think that's a better definition. Yeah, it zooms into the extent of your drawing. Let's say we have another box here, or let's do some other primitive. Let's say we have a cylinder here. So we have a cylinder here like so. So now, if I go to zoom to extent, it zooms to the extent of my drawing, like you have seen. So now let's continue. And the next one there is talking about orbit. Yes, orbit helps you orbit around the drawing. I don't know a better way to talk about orbit. So you can rotate about your drawing. That's not rotate, it's actually orbiting. So I don't want to mince words or use the wrong words. It's actually orbiting. So I don't think there's another definition that can best explain orbiting. So you see it like so, it helps you move around your drawing. Yes, move. Okay. It helps you move around your drawing. I think that would be the simplest form until I get a better definition for the orbit. So that is it, as you have seen like so. So with this, you can do that. Alternatively, if you hold down your shift key, and press down your center mouse wheel. Yes, the one you use in zooming in and out. Yes, this one. Once you hold down your shift and press your center mouse wheel, you can actually orbit. Yeah, you can do that. Like so. And that works perfectly. I use it all the time alongside panning. This is for panning, but if you hold down shift, panning becomes orbiting. So if you saw that and if you understand it, please type scene. Use the chat box. Thank you very much. Okay. John Paul saw it, and you understand. Next person, Cheesy saw it. Edith saw it, and they all understood it. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go over to some other thing. Of course, every other thing, almost every other thing here remains the same. We have a command line as we have before now. I talked about the view cube, and I did not say that the view cube, if you just click around here, just left click and drag, you can actually orbit around your drawing, like so. Just left click and drag, you can orbit around your drawing, yeah? Yes, you can do this. Just left click, around here, left click and drag, you can actually orbit around the drawing. Or with, if I go to the top view, with this, I can actually rotate my viewport or my drawing area. Yes, like so. I can always rotate it like so. So that is it for the view cube. Now let's talk about something else. So you all see like we have in our 2D workspace, we have the model space and we have the layout. Of course, we all know what that is. The model space is where you do your actual drawing. Then your layout is where you do your plotting and where you do the finishing work for output, yeah, in case you want to print your drawing. So now we have that. We have the solid editing tab. We have the surface editing tab. We have the mesh editing tab. Hopefully, we are going to be covering some of these especially the solid and the surface editing. Mesh editing, I don't think we will do much of that for this session. Mesh editing, I don't think we'll do much of that for this session. Okay, John Paul, the menu showing pan zoom extent is not showing anymore on my AutoCAD. Okay, I understand your problem, and the challenge is quite simple, unless maybe there's another force holding it. But if you're not seeing some of these things here, anything that should be displayed here, and you can't find it in your AutoCAD or on your AutoCAD, like you said, all you have to do is go to the View tab. Like I said, we have the Home tab, Solid tab, Surface tab, Mesh tab, Visualize tab, and all down to the View tab. So once you click on this View tab, and you go to the upper left corner, after clicking on the View tab, you see some things there like the UCS icon, the View cube, the navigation bar, and some other things. Yes, like here we have the Drawing Design Center. Yeah. So now right here, if I click on this to deactivate it, you see the UCS icon disappears from my screen. And if I do that to the View cube goes away. Same thing as my navigation bar. If I click so, it goes away. So John Paul, I think this answered your question. You can try it. Yes, okay, so yes, okay, thank you very much. It's been rectified. Okay, so that is it. We're going to activate them back like so and go back to our drawing. Where was I? Okay, now solid editing will help you create some solid, and surface editing will help you create some surfaces. Okay, I think I'll give another task today. Yes, solid editing will help you create solid. Surface editing will help you create surfaces. And mesh editing, of course, if you want to do some extended kind of editing, you need some mesh also to do some patching and all that. I think, I'm not sure we'll talk about this, but if we have time, we will. If we have time, we will. I'm not talking about today. We're not going to cover any of this today. We're just going to do the little introduction we can today, and then talk about them some other time in the future. Okay, so here you can do some primitives with this. You can actually draw some basic shapes like a box, a cylinder, a cone, a sphere, a pyramid, and all you have there. We'll cover that, and this will help you create your custom shapes. Yes, you can do this. You can extrude, you can loft, you can revolve, you can so. Don't worry, we'll talk about all of these. Poly-solid, press-pull, and we'll talk about the difference between press-pull and extrude also. Then we'll talk about some of these tools. Then we'll go over to the solid editing tab. But we'll talk about some of these tools also will help us edit our solid. Then I think we'll go over to surface editing. We'll talk about some of these surfaces. And so that is it for these. And we'll talk about most of these. Then we can do some little rendering. I think so. We'll do some little rendering. Just some little rendering. Okay, so that is it for the tabs and ribbons. Now, okay. You're asking it turned off on its own. Okay, well, you've rectified it. It did not turn off on its own. Computer does not do things on its own. Unfortunately, you have to make a command for it to follow suit. That's one good thing about computers. They don't work on their own, unless maybe it's a computer that has artificial intelligence that is being programmed to do things on their own. Okay, so that is it. These are primitive shapes. You can just draw them easily, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So we've talked about basic introduction to the interface. Now let's talk about something really, really important, especially working with 3D, AutoCAD 3D. You might want to be working on one screen and be seeing the changes you're trying to work on another kind of screen. So let's say you have this workspace, but you want to be working on this side of, let me do something quickly, please. Permit me, I will make it realistic. Okay. So if you notice in our last class, while I was talking about printing, I talked about shading, and this is where it affects that. So you can come here and change your visual style. Yes, this visual style, you can keep it to the wireframe. All you'll be seeing is just 2D wires, as the name implies. And then you can keep it at conceptualized to have some, feels to it, some colors to it. All these are solids, by the way. None of them are surfaces. They're all solids. They are 3D solids. So you can make some hidden lines. So you see, like so it's showing you some of those hidden lines. If you move around it, hover around this stuff, it will show some hidden lines, yeah? Okay, does not have it here. So now, let's go here. Should see some. Yes, these are the hidden lines. So now, they have other shades too, or visual styles. Realistic will make it a little bit real. So it's a solid, so it looks like steel, as you can see. Shaded, of course. You have some shaded feeling, shaded looks. Now you have shaded with edges to give some edges to it. So you have an idea of what this means by now. So there's this one I like using mostly, is the X-ray. Yes, I like using this one while editing, because it shows me the other part of my model. Yes, while still giving me, this overview of telling me that, okay, this is a solid or a surface. So that is it. Okay, now let's go back to the wireframe. I haven't talked about that. Let's go back to the wireframe. Now, I talked about sharing your screen, right? When I say sharing your screen, I don't mean like sharing for other people to see. What I meant was that I want to be working here, but I need the screen to be divided. So I'll be seeing my object, the update of my object in other views. Let's say I want it to be in 2 more views. So I'll come over here to this viewport setup, or the viewport setup. I can change the configuration and then make it 3 or 2 vertical. If I make it 2 vertical, currently it's right here, the single option is selected, but I want to make it 2 vertical, and you see what will happen. So you see, if it's 2 vertical, it means that I can be working on this while this one right here will remain where I want it to stay. So if I want this to be, let's say, top view, yeah, so it will be like so, and I can change this visual style also to something like X-ray. Yes, to be like this, and then I can be working. Sorry, let me arrange it. So that is it. And then I can be working on this particular viewport, like so. I can be working on this viewport, and whatever changes I make here will affect this other viewport. Like you may have seen, I just deleted something. Whatever changes I make here will affect this viewport. Let's say I want to extrude this further. I can just highlight it and use the extrude command. Select objects, select this part. I think there's something going on. So let me do something. Press pull instead. Yes. I want to press pull something. And I want to press pull this space. Yes, so I press pull it this way. So you see, while I'm working on this, the update is being shown here immediately. So if you saw that this is the chat box, type scene. If you understood what I just did, the screen sharing or the viewport configuration, please type scene or type understood. Okay, Cheesy saw it. Okay. Every other person saw it, I believe. Wow, you did not understand it. Okay, now let's go back. I'm going to escape this command and then type come here and select Viewport Configuration, make it single once more. So now, if I'm doing this single stuff, let me control this. Excuse me, command line for the view. I don't understand your question, please. Please, can you rephrase your question? I don't understand it. Are you trying to ask if there is a command, like a command line keyword for? Okay. I've not done that because it's quite clear here that you can just go here and change it. So I don't think I will need to go look for. Let me check if there is a viewport configuration. I've not done that before. Viewport. You see the time you spend in doing this. Viewport config. I don't think there is. I don't know, but there should be. There should be, but I don't know the command for it. I just go here and do my thing. It's quite easier this way. Just go here and change the configuration of your viewport. So you can make it single, like the one I just did is 2 vertical. You can do 2 horizontal. You can do 3 right. This is the one I like using. 3 right, where you have 2 other viewports, so you can change your views. Let's say I will keep this at shaded. The style will be shaded, and then it will be southwest isometric. Then the next one, I will make it my top view, and it will be X-ray. Then I can be working on this one in real time. So any changes I make here will affect these guys here, and I will see them like so. So do you understand this? Please, if you understand, use the chat box. Type understood. Okay, Chizzy understands, John Paul understands. Fure John, are you on this call? Mr. Fure John, are you on this call, please? Okay, yes, you understood. Okay, yeah, cool. Thank you very much. All of you understood that. Okay, now, same thing you did here with your view cube, you can actually do the same thing here, changing your views. Yes, your model custom views. You can make it the top view, and it will be the top view. You can change. You can switch over to bottom view, right, and all that. Southwest isometric, southeast isometric, and all like you have on your screen. So that is it for the interface. And do I need to talk about some other things today that's concerning the interface? For now, we're done with our interface. So you just give me a moment. Okay, I don't know if the host is here. If the host is here, we are actually done with our interface. So you may want to end the live session, so we don't have to cloud the live session with the next part we're moving into. The host, are you here? Okay, the host is not here. Well, if you have a question concerning this thing, can you ask a question before we go over? If you have any question, please, can you use the chat box or raise your hand? Okay, give me a moment, guys, please. Just give me a moment, I'll be back.